It is that time of the month again. We are back with another TBR jar prompt video. I am so sad I had to skip out on June. I did film it. It was so great because I added some new prompts in here and I went to edit it and there was no audio. It was a sign because I entered into such a reading slump in June. It was heartbreaking. So I really don't have reading updates for the June TBR that I did select because I don't know if I read any of them. But it is a new month. I am very excited. I am out of my reading slump, so let's choose the books that we will be reading in July. There are definitely a few new releases coming out in July I'm excited for, but I also have gotten so much good book mail recently, so I'm excited to see what we can pull for this month. A book by a new-to-me author. That should definitely be easy enough. I have quite a few. I really want to get to some of these arcs and prioritize them. This actually comes out in July, so maybe I should do this one. We have three really good options. They're all recent books that have been sent to me. I'm very excited. I think only two of these are arcs, and then one I believe has just recently come out. So the book that just recently came out that I've seen amazing reviews on is Chase Me If You Can. Give it up for this cover. Like, are you kidding me? Two storm chasers find a love that could blow them away in this electric debut romance. We have a wedding photographer, and then who's this guy? I love it because evidently she's a wedding photographer, but 6 weeks each spring, she chases tornadoes instead. What an icon, honestly. I just feel like the tension in this is going to be so good, and I have not been reading that much romance recently, so I feel like this could be a really great option. If I want something a little more emotional, we have The Good Parts by Evan? It's Evann. How would you say that? But this is an arc. It comes out July 28th. This has been catching my eye every single time I look at my shelves. This is something where the author based this on her real life story with her husband, and she literally put in like the author's like note that came in the box, like good news, like, you know, like we end up together kind of thing. And I was like, well, thank God. But evidently they were together in college, or at least about to be together kind of thing, but they were graduating, and so it was kind of just like, we're going in different directions right now. It'd be really hard. So they were agreeing to kind of like not be together. But then evidently he sends her a letter. And she's like, literally, what if my husband had not sent me that letter? And I was like, what did the letter say? Like, but that is kind of where she's, I guess, pulling from here. It says, an epic, unforgettable love story about a woman who takes a memory-erasing pill and the man she once loved who returns as a stranger, hoping to make her fall for him all over again. This was sent with a pack of tissues. So if I want something that's going to pull at the heartstrings, this could be a really good option. And this last one, like, it's just hard not to want to read it. This comes out July 7th. Which I think is the following Tuesday from when this goes up, but An Infinite Love Story by Chanel Clayton. First of all, it says, when an astronaut is lost in space, his wife relives their epic love as she attempts to unravel what truly happened to him in this sweeping love story set against the backdrop of the 1960s space race. As an atmosphere lover, as someone that works in space, like, I want to read all three of these. I think this is probably going to be the toughest decision I have to make in this entire video because all three of these have called to me. How do I add all three of these? I think I'm leaning towards one of these. Something about this I think is calling me as like just a staple bingeable romance that'll be so fun to read this summer. This is our first option for July. Chase Me If You Can. Next up, the author's name includes a middle initial. Oh, okay. We quite literally have one option, and this one scares me. I have been putting this off for probably a year now. When did I get this? I have no idea, but it is The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen, because I have one friend that loves this series, like loves this series with her whole chest. And then I have this other friend that I swear she was talking about this book and she was kind of going over certain like scenes or plots or something within this, and it like gave me the ick where I was like, what, how am I supposed to like enjoy that? Like so it's just like put me off from it. But it's your classic like fantasy. Like I don't know. The iconic Bridge Kingdom series begins. A sweeping, sizzling fantasy romance filled with political intrigue and passionate love, so they say. A warrior princess trained in isolation, Lara, is driven by two certainties. The first is that King Aaron of the Bridge Kingdom is her enemy. They always are. They always are. And the second is that she'll be the one to bring him to his knees. That I believe. That's probably a fact. The only route through a storm-ravaged world, the Bridge Kingdom of Ithacana enriches itself and deprives its rivals, including Lara's homeland. So when she's sent there as a bride under the guise of peace, Lara is prepared to do whatever it takes to fracture its impenetrable defenses and the defenses of its king. I think this is like a 5-book series. It's not too thick. Doesn't make me less scared, but it's going on the TBR. Oh goodness. Okay, I need one that I'm like excited for because that was scary. A book published this year. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. Okay, we have 3 more options. So this first one is what I'm really leaning towards, but we'll see. And it is Ruinous Ends. I think this is technically an arc, but it comes out in July, and I've been dying to get to this. So this is the arc, but I recently got the final like print copy, and it just is calling to me. It's staring at me like, baby, you've got to read this. I really enjoyed Immortal Consequences, and I'm so curious about what's going to come in this book. Also, the flop. The next one is a classic summer romance, The Summer Share by Jen McKinley. So this one, I'm a little like excited, but I'm not sure I'd really love it because the other book I read by her, I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. I didn't like love it, right? But I still had a good time. But sometimes that's like all you need when you want to like pick up a romance by the pool kind of thing. So it says, when two misfits discover they've inherited the same beach house, sparks fly in the most unexpected ways. So we are following Simon and Hannah as they spend the summer tag teaming repairs on the crumbling cottage. They discover it was once home to a timeless love story. You guys, and there's a dog. Like, this could be so cute. This last one, I think it came out this year. I got it in this year, yeah, 2026. Okay, so Ancient History Between Us by Caitlin Hill. That's stunning. That's such a beautiful cover. 3 years since they last saw each other, 2 months to untangle their complicated past, one unforgettable Italian summer. Like one forgettable, okay. Childhood best friends. Ooh, haven't spoken since their first kiss ended in disaster. I don't know, this could go really well or really bad. And as someone that is coming out of a slump and is very scared to read several books, like I just don't know about that. But I know I really want to read this, and because this comes out in July, I would love to get to it like this month. Yeah. No, she's the one. She's the one. Okay. Ruinous Ends by Ivy Mary. Book number 4. A book set in your home state. I don't own any books set in Kansas. This was a great idea. There's one book I have in mind. I still own it, and the whole point of this is always to pick books for my physical TBR. So, on to the next. A book by an indie author. I know I have them. Is this the month that I do it? I'm like looking, I know I have ones like on my Kindle, but I'm trying to look at the physical shelves. This might be the only one on my physical shelf. Like looking, I have some more books over there. Yeah. Listen, listen. This is the month. This is the month I read this. It's embarrassing that I haven't already. I know that the friends I have that have read this have absolutely loved it and like loved the chemistry, banter. I'm excited. I just don't read a ton of romance, so I keep putting it off. It says her family owns the best Formula One team on the grid. He's the star driver. And like, look at this cover. Next one. I think this is book number 5. The cover is your favorite color. Blue. It's blue. Okay. We have 3 options from 3 very different genres. First up is Love by the Book by Jessica George. This is one I recently got from Aardvark, and it is a literary fiction, general fiction, but it says friendship is the love story you can count on. So we have our main female character, Remy, who is lucky her debut novel based on her 3 best friends became an instant bestseller when it is released, and her agent and publisher are clamoring for a follow-up. But just as Remy's creative inspiration seems to leave her, so too do her friends. And then we have Simone, who is successful, a kindergarten teacher with a passion for kids and a well-paying side hustle that affords her all the material comforts she desires. She doesn't have time for a robust social life. All Simone needs is her close-knit family, but after the true nature of her work is revealed, they cut her off and she realizes for the first time just how isolated she is. So Remy and Simone are definitely feeling just like how alone they are. And then they have a not so meet cute in a bookstore, and they don't really like get along at first glance, at first interaction. But it says, can Simone help Remy make one of the most important decisions of her life? And can Remy help Simone recover all that she's lost? And I just think that this would be such a heartwarming story of female friendship. It sounds really good. Next up is, technically this is an ARC copy of it, but it came out in April of last year. One of my friends gave it to me, but it's Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey. I'm not even going to try to say that last name. It says Voice of the Ocean follows a daring young siren who defies her people to save a human prince, unearthing ancient magic and igniting a dangerous romance amid treacherous waters. Okay, so it's a retelling? Maybe? Nonetheless, I'd be curious to see how good this is. I guess Kelsey, like the author, is a professional YouTuber and Twitch streamer with over 1.5 million followers. I mean, could be good. And this last one is once again crazy. It's kind of giving dystopian-esque. It reminds me a lot of I Who Have Never Known Men. So it is The Wall. The afterword is by Claire, so it's translated by Sean Whiteside. Oh, we love translated fiction. While vacationing in a hunting lodge in the Austrian mountains, a middle-aged woman awakens one morning to find herself separated from the rest of the world by an invisible wall. With a cat, a dog, a cow as her only companions, she learns how to survive and cope with her loneliness. I feel like this is very similar to I Who Have Never Known Men, with the premise of just like, if you're taken out of your normal setting, what do you do to kind of create a new normal? And I'm just so curious about this one. I've had it for a while. I haven't read something weird since The Colony, which I guess I read that maybe technically at the beginning of June, but maybe late May. I kind of think I need this. I also want like a shorter book that if I am feeling slumpy again, like I can just pick up something quick. Yeah, we're picking The Wall by Marlon Haushofer. On to book number 6. I picked a lot of green today. Start a new series. Babe. No. Oh gosh. Okay. We have three options here. All of them I'm excited for. The one that's been on my shelves the longest is definitely The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I've heard really great things about this. I think I've just procrastinated because I've been in the middle of so many other series, and so I haven't wanted to start a new one. But I believe this is a trilogy, so it wouldn't take too much. It's just the epic series continues, so maybe it's not a trilogy? I don't know, but I know there's 3 books out at least, so this is one that if I really liked, I could just keep going. The premise of this was so wild to me. 17-year-old Kiva has spent the last 10 years fighting for survival in a notorious death prison, working as a prisoner healer. 17, what do you mean? When the rebel queen is captured, Kiva, Kiva? I don't know, is charged with keeping the terminally ill woman alive long enough for her to undergo the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous criminals. Then, a coded message from Kiva's family arrives, containing a single order. Don't let her die. We are coming. Aware that the trials will kill the sickly queen, Kiva risks her own life and volunteers in her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom, but no one has ever survived. I don't know, it just sounds so good. It sounds so good. And I feel like this has been described as very like bingeable, and that is definitely the vibe you want during the summer months. Like, life is busy, you just want to go outside and read when you can, like you want something that you can just like pick up and get into. This could be a really good option. This is a recent buy for me, Nightweaver by R.M. Gray. You say pirate like it's an insult. 600 years ago, Nightweavers, cursed beings with unchecked power, claimed the continent for their own. The ocean was meant to be a safe haven for humanity, including 17-year-old Aster Oberon and her pirate family. But after Aster's brother is killed in an epic battle at sea against Nightweavers, Aster and her family are thrust into a new life on land. When a handsome Nightweaver named Will offers the Oberons protection and work at his opulent estate, Aster is suspicious. As the arrogant and entitled right hand to the wicked prince, Will is everything that she has been taught to hate. But as he shows empathy and kindness, Aster can't ignore a blooming attraction, and even more, Will opens her eyes to a new reality, that there are monsters worse than Nightweavers, monsters who may be behind her brother's death. This sounds like it could be so incredible. I don't know, it says don't miss the sequel, Star Chaser, but I'm not sure if that, like, is this a series? Like, is this a duology, trilogy? Like, do we know? I don't know, but it sounds so good. Lastly, we have The Once and Future Queen by Paula Lafferty. This is an aardvark pick that I recently got, and I've seen amazing reviews on this. I really want to pick this up sooner than later. I don't like it when you get like subscription boxes that just pile up and then you're just having these books on your shelves forever. It's the same as buying, but I've been really better about buying books recently. So this is one I'd love to read sooner than later. When Vera learns that she is meant for another time, she leaps at the chance to embrace a new life of valor, intrigue, and unexpected magic in this bold and romantic retelling of Arthurian legend. Like, what? Time travel and fantasy? It's definitely a thicker book, but I have pretty short books on my radar this month, so this could be a really good option. Do I want something that's a bit thicker, or do I want something I know is quite bingeable? I feel like I want a fun, different story, and this is definitely leaning towards different than other fantasy books I've been reading recently, so we are going to pick The Once and Future Queen. Okay, we have 2 more books to choose. I keep choosing green ones. Not that they really matter, but I feel like I just want a different color. A book set at the beach. Oh, this is meant for my summer era. Of course, we have 3 short and sweet romances. So we have already touched on Ancient History Between Us, which I'm a little nervous about, a like best friends, childhood best friends that like you kiss once and it goes bad. Like, what? Is this gonna be stupid? You know what I mean? A little nervous. But then we have The Summer Share by Jen McKinley. So also talked about this one. This one sounds like it could be a really fun summer plot. And then the one I haven't talked about yet is Elizabeth of East Hampton. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. And as someone that just recently went to theaters to watch the 2005 Pride and Prejudice, this could be a fun one. It says, it's a truth universally acknowledged, well, by Elizabeth Bennet anyway, that there's nothing worse than summer in the Hamptons. Every June, her hometown is inundated with rich Manhattanians, Manhattanites. I just made up my own Manhattan term, who party until dawn and then disappear by September. And Lizzie wants to leave too, but after putting her dreams on hold to save her family's struggling bakery, she's still waiting for something, anything to change. Will Darcy is everything Lizzie Bennet is not. Aloof, arrogant, and rich. Of course, he's never cared about money. In fact, it's number 1 on his long list of things that only complicate his life. Number 2, his friend Charlie's insistent on setting him up with his new girlfriend's sharp-tongued sister, Elizabeth. Lizzie is sure Will hates everybody. He thinks she enjoys being difficult. But between a hurricane and a hypocritical aunt, a drunken voicemail, and a deceptive event promoter, the two must sift through the chaos to learn that love is a lot like surfing. Sometimes the only way to survive is to let yourself fall. These are definitely the two I'm leaning towards. I think I'm gonna go with this one, Elizabeth of East Hampton. I've had this on my shelf for quite a while. I think it came out last year. I'm optimistic that I'm gonna love this a lot now because of just watching Pride and Prejudice. We have one more book to choose. An author's debut novel. I feel like I might have chosen one already. Okay, I feel like I have some others, but this is the one that's definitely calling to me the most, as you guys know, and that is The Good Parts. I am just dying to know this story and to kind of just feel the author's personal connection to it. I wonder like how woven into that story it is. So we are going to be picking up The Good Parts, and I cannot wait to read it. It would not be a TBR video if we didn't do a quick recap of all the books that I'm reading in July. We have The Bridge Kingdom, The Wall, Chase Me If You Can, Heart Racing, Ruinous Ends, The Good Parts, Elizabeth of East Hampton, and The Once and Future Queen. I feel like we have quite the variety this month, and I'm very excited for that. As a mood reader, I love to have some options, but not be so overwhelmed with all of the options. So this is going to be perfect to choose from, and I feel like all of these are going to just keep me out of my slump because this is a list full of amazing books. Like, I just know it. If you have read any of these, please let me know which ones I definitely need to prioritize, or if you want to make sure they're in a reading vlog. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.